Donald Trump's immigration raids are deeply unpopular, and I can prove it to you. This isn't just about protests. This isn't about Democratic politicians criticizing him or media pundits attacking him. This is definitive proof that most Americans do not like what's happening. There are 3 charts that I want to show you, and by the end of this video, you will be convinced. First, let's look at where undocumented people live in the United States. After the No Kings protest this past weekend, Donald Trump took to Truth Social to call on ICE to escalate its efforts in big blue cities. He singled out Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York. He's trying to zero in on cities that have sanctuary city laws. If you aren't familiar with sanctuary city laws or don't know what they mean, all it does is prohibit local law enforcement from participating in federal immigration raids. That's it. Republicans have tried to use that to mislead people, to claim that cities are burning down or being destroyed and overrun by immigrants. None of that is true. But in this Truth Social post, he's talking about how they're going to zero in on those cities. And this leads me to my first chart. Pew Research published this in 2024. And these numbers have been consistent for years. Look at the black squares. Notice anything? This is where the highest concentration of undocumented people live. California, of course, but also Texas and Florida. Why isn't Trump mentioning those states? And you might think, well, there may be more undocumented people in Chicago or New York. That isn't the case. While California had the most at 1.8 million, Texas came in second at 1.6 million, and Florida at 1.2. Why isn't Trump going after Dallas or Austin or Miami or Orlando? Because it isn't actually about going after undocumented people. He's trying to create havoc and drive a political narrative. That's why he's focusing on Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York. You may have heard that Trump wants to shift their focus away from hospitality and agriculture because he doesn't want deportation efforts to affect those aspects of the economy. And while I don't believe him for a second, let's just pretend like it is true and that will happen. That people in those sectors will be immune for now. Think about the dynamic that creates. Suddenly, undocumented people who know they are being watched and monitored by the government now can't speak up if they have unfavorable or intolerable working conditions. They can't ask for a raise. They can't ask for required shade or water or breaks if they're working on a farm. Because all it'll take is their boss to turn around and tell the government, yeah, deport this person. They're giving me a hard time. All this does is create a system of indentured servitude. The solution is not, of course, to deport them. The solution is to protect them and provide them the same rights that any other worker is entitled to. But let's talk about the deportation efforts overall. Do people like them? You might think that it is split down the middle, or maybe even that it's popular. I won't knock you for thinking that, but again, that's wrong. New polling found that Trump is underwater in every single aspect of his immigration policy. Do people approve of the way Trump is handling immigration? No, in 3 out of 4 polls. Do people approve of the way Trump is handling deportations? A resounding no in 2 different polls. And do you approve of Trump deploying the Marines and the National Guard to Los Angeles? Again, down the line. No. He is doing this to create chaos. He's doing this to drive a narrative. Many people were wondering, why are the Marines and the National Guard even there? The Intercept just found that despite thousands of troops being sent to Los Angeles and over $100 million potentially being spent on this, there has only been 1 apprehension. And they arrested somebody who wasn't even protesting. They arrested somebody who was going to an appointment at the Veterans Affairs Office. They arrested a veteran at a time where they are telling us we have to cut Medicaid and we have to cut SNAP because it's so expensive. We have to save money. We have to rein in federal spending. Trump throws a lackluster flop of a military birthday parade and burns over $100 million on thousands of troops standing around in Los Angeles. There was never any real justification for sending the Marines or the National Guard to LA. It was all for show, and right-wing media helped sell this myth that the city was under attack. Take, for instance, this Fox News article that went after ESPN analyst Mina Kimes for speaking out against ICE. I took a closer look at some of the pictures they included, and it's 2 pictures of the same burning car in Paramount, California, zoomed in so you can't see that everything else around it is okay, and then this zoomed in picture of trash on fire. It reminded me a lot of this moment from the protests the day Trump was inaugurated in 2017. A bunch of photographers gathered around a single trash can, zooming in to make it look like a bigger incident than it actually is. That's what's happening here. And by deploying the National Guard and the Marines, Trump can feel big and strong. Meanwhile, they burn through $100 million of your tax money. So what? He can look tough? And finally, for the third chart, it's not just immigration. Trump is underwater on every single issue. On trade, he's down 9.2%. On the economy, he's down over 12%. And on inflation, he is down nearly 19%. Overall, on the issues, Trump is down 8.4%. He's neglecting the key issues that he ran on. He's abandoning his entire campaign, and he's trying to use these deportation raids as a distraction. Now, fewer people are talking about the Medicaid cuts. This isn't to say that ICE raids and deportations aren't as important, but what it does is it tricks the media into covering something sensational, rather than them talking about something that viewers might find a little bit more boring, the legislative process and policy. It's tough to get people to care about policy, and I'm sure that your outrage over his big, beautiful bill made him scared. More people were waking up to how bad that was. So what does he do? He whips up a fervor in Los Angeles, starts attacking communities, sends in the National Guard and the Marines, and suddenly the media wants to cover burning Waymos. I know you're smart enough to care about both, and if you supported what ICE was doing, I hope maybe now you reconsider. We just saw potentially the biggest day of action in US history with the No Kings protest. My advice to you would be to keep that energy up. That was step one. Now you need to take step two. Get involved in a local grassroots organization, a mutual aid group, or something in your community where you can help prevent these ICE raids from devastating your community next. And when the time comes, you can pressure your senator to vote no on Trump's big, beautiful bill. We can chew gum and walk at the same time. I know you're capable of it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and hit the subscribe button. Can't thank you enough.